homophobic was being scared, and it's like I think recently that the entire phrase has changed. Um,
I
to
think that the actually name itself has lost all of its value,
yeah, like
because it's used for everything.
it used to be like if you're arachnophobic, it means you have an irrational fear of spiders.
Right.
But now, if you just say something that's mildly thought of as homophobic or racist, or you get that irrational fear label attached to you somehow, which, like you said, it just kind of loses its meaning altogether.
Yeah. And it's it's sad to say that, but it it's like with racism. It doesn't seem to really hold any significance anymore because, when you start, bellowing out racism to everything, it kind of loses its value of what it means. Um, but no, I wanted to talk about this because, Matt Walsh over at the Daily Wire had a documentary that came out, What is a Woman? And I've been following this series for a while that he's been doing, and he's just wanting to question what is a woman, and nobody can seem to answer this,
I
which
heard
I
about
never, I never thought I would live in a society where, or at least here in the U.S., that women could not identify what is a woman.
Mhm.
You go to any other part of the world, people can tell you what a woman is. But why is it the U.S. is so fucked up in the head? Like, women can't even tell you what a woman is,
See,
you know?
I haven't seen that documentary. I've heard about it, and it kind of
Right.
seems like it's one of those YouTube channels that goes up and shoves a mic in somebody's face and just, "Hey, who's the vice president of the United States?" And like half the people are like, "I don't know." Um,
Now, this is a legit documentary where he sits down, he talks to, actual doctors and, professors and, and even somebody that transitioned over to from a what was it, from a female to male and has, but it still identifies as the gender in which, they were born to,
oh wow! Hey,
it's do I
hey, Dia has joined us, and she says, a woman doesn't have hanging flesh between her thighs.
that's one way to look at it, but
I'm guessing
um
she's never met an obese American woman because yeah, yeah, she's definitely got some extra flesh hanging between them thighs.
she's got the flesh everywhere, man. Come on. But no, I just and then what was it the other day? I was getting on and I was getting on the TV, and of course, I've got Amazon Prime, so I've got the Fire Stick, and I pull it up, and at the top it's gay this, pride this, trans this. I mean, all these TV shows, movies. I'm fine with that, but the problem I have is why do you got to continuously shove the shit down my throat, dude? It gets me to a point where you're doing the opposite of what you want me to do. And that's they want me to, accept their culture, their way of life. But in reality, all you're doing to me and millions of others is we don't want to see this shit. We can support the culture, but we don't want to watch anything that's got drag people or gay people. That's not what I'm into. So quit trying to force this shit on me, dude. You're going to turn me away from the culture, which I've never had a problem, to begin with. So
Right.
I just, it's an issue for me, man. It's a culture war that we're having to constantly battle.
It makes you wonder who they're trying to target exactly. Like what I
Our
mean,
youth, I believe.
because I mean, like guys like you and I, we're pretty open minded. We're like, okay, yeah, if you want to be gay, whatever you do in the privacy of your own bedroom is your
Yeah.
business. I mean, I don't care. Just don't put it on me. Whatever, we're
Hmm.
like go along to get along. Who gives a damn? And so it's like I'm not keeping any rights from anybody because of their sexual orientation. I don't care. Like I care as much about somebody being gay as I care about somebody being straight. Like it doesn't cross my mind. I don't look at
Right.
somebody and think, hey, I need to interact with this person based on who they like to bump uglies with, right? Like that's just not anything that ever crosses my mind. And
Yeah.
and it makes you wonder how much of this is actually trying to convince people that gay people are here and they're proud, and or how much of it is just companies trying to virtual signal to avoid cancellation. Like if I'm the one company that didn't come out with a rainbow themed logo this month, Um, do I risk getting attacked by the mob and shut down and lose my entire income source, right?
Well, it's sad that we kind of live in that society today, but again, it's um, yeah, there is that fear. So you're kind of stuck between this rock and this hard place. I guess I'm at a point in my life where I don't care. I mean, if you're gay, hey, go do your thing. I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
Um, but to celebrate it for a month, it's like, what hardships have you gone through to where you think you deserve a month, let alone even a day? I mean, you got Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and these guys get one day, out of the year, and or 2 days out of the year.
Mhm.
And we're giving people who fuck each other in the butts, a whole goddamn month. It's like, why? I mean, no, you're not defending this country unless you're in the military and you're gay. Beyond that, you're not really doing anything to further the progress of our society. All you're doing is trying to transition, kids that are, growing up in these screwed up homes to begin with to live a normal life because you want to inject puberty blockers and and then all this shit they're trying to indoctrinate into our schools, and I mean, and obviously into our kids. And it's just like, no, how do you get a month? You got a month because you're bitching and complaining that nobody's going to listen to you. But when we try to sit down and talk to you, you run away. Like you don't want to have anything to do with the conversation. So how does that manifest itself into further, progress in culture? It doesn't. It never will.
Yeah.
Because everything that we discuss, you really can't argue what we're talking about here. And your first offense is bitch and complain or call me homophobic or run away. So
It's
um
totally mature. It really is. It's totally the most mature way to engage in conversation.
it's
I want
just
I wanna be I wanna be careful not to, uh, confuse, those who are trying to push puberty blockers on kids and those who are trying to indoctrinate children with people who are just gay and
but within
proud.
the whole community though. If you're going to lump yourself into the alphabet people, you're a part of that culture. So you guys need to work your shit out amongst each other and figure out who needs to be a part of the alphabet group and who doesn't, because you are a part of that, and you are going to be lumped in with the rest of them for this month. Yeah, I'm not going to be apologetic for that, and I'm not going to be careful with it because you guys are all associated under the same umbrella, which happens to be colorful. So I no, I'm not going to do that. I mean,
I don't know, man. I mean, because it's almost like, us because, or me because I'm white, getting lumped in with the KKK and other racists, just because they have
that's
views.
currently what's going on, dude.
Right. Well, I'm just I'm not the kind of person who's going to do that. I have a very strict view of individualization of people. I like to look at the individual. I know a lot of gay people who aren't trying to shove it down my throat for lack.
I know that. Yeah, we've had people on the show that don't do that.
Right, right. And like our friend Billy slash Hagatha, like
Yeah.
amazing human being. Absolutely love him to death. He's never, sat there and like gone all rah rah, I'm super proud and gay. And like it's never been a focal point of his identity, is I
Right.
guess my point. Um and I think as long as people try to lump themselves into groups, as you were saying, it's like it's really hard to engage with them on an individual level. And as long as people are still lumping themselves into groups, you're going to continuously have these larger companies trying to virtue signal and uh, trying to avoid that lump group of people coming after them, that mob, so to speak. And
Well, I mean, I think the mob's going to go after them no matter what. Whether they're quiet on the issue or whether they speak out against it or for it, you're going to have to you're going to have to give them, a position in which you stand on. And if you don't, they're going to come after you regardless. So,
I wonder why enough people haven't realized this by now. Like, eventually, the mob's coming for you. Like, no matter what you do,
yeah.
you may be safe now, but what's the damn, I can't even think of the whole metaphor they've used for this, where they're like you're the last person on the in the danger zone or whatever. I can't remember what it was exactly, but basically
Yeah,
it's
I don't care really, to be honest with you. I mean, you're not gonna hurt my feelings to call me homophobic. I know I'm not, but again, it's guys like me or guys like us that are not homophobic, and you continuously shove this shit down our throats. You turn us away from supporting the actual movement itself or culture in which that you're a part of, and that's what I want people to be aware of, because we're not the only ones that feel that way. And
Oh, it's
I,
like I want to support my friend for being gay and having a tough time coming out to their family and being, black sheep because of it.
right,
I want to support that friend, but that doesn't mean I have to have a rainbow flag on my profile picture. And
no,
not having that rainbow flag on my profile picture doesn't automatically mean I'm homophobic. Like I can support my
mhm.
gay friends without having to virtue signal and having to make a big show of it, having to, I don't know, shove it in every single episode of every show ever. Like I know there's gay people out there, but I know that they don't make up the percentage of gay relationships that are in our modern TV shows now. It's just not. It's too many. It's way too many. It
Well,
seem like it's like half the freaking population at this point.
yeah, I don't agree with it. I think they're going about it all the wrong way. I think going after companies, I think going after these streaming platforms, because when you get on there, it's, everything's categorized, and at the very top, it's Pride TV shows, it's, Pride movies, it's Pride documentaries, it's this Dracula, was it Dracula, some kind of TV show where it's a drag queen, it's Dracula, and I'm like,
I have no idea. I don't watch.
nobody wants to watch this shit. Like, majority of the people that I know that are straight really don't want to watch this shit. They have no desire to. And I've spoken to other friends of mine, and I guess they're homophobic too. I know a lot of homophobic people, which is, I don't know, a good thing or a bad thing, but they say the same thing. It's like, let things naturally progress on its own, because the majority of the population does not give a shit what your sexual orientation is. What we do care about is the way you indoctrinate our children. That's where we draw the line. But as far as living your lifestyle and, what you do and how you choose to live your life, it has no concern or bearing on mine whatsoever.
You want
Where
to
it does is when you start interjecting yourself into the school systems and putting on, the drag queen, as a story hour, with drag queens or something like that. And then, these teachers that you see on, libs of TikTok and so forth. That's when I want to be vocal. But really outside of that, as far as, the movement itself, or I wouldn't really call it a movement. It's just a sexual preference and lifestyle. And so with the culture itself really doesn't affect me. I may have some really nice flowers on my table once I get married, or, if I need to have somebody come decorate my home, you can tell obviously it was a gay person that did it, not me, because I'm straight. I get that. I understand that. I have poor taste in home design. you know, I mean, what do you want me to do about it? So,
know something interesting?
what's up?
You are watching the Unframe of Mind show where we have
Oh yeah.
conversations without a condom, and we forgot to introduce the show because we just got so excited to be in the conversation. So if you are,
No, we just kind of went with the
right,
flow,
that's all. But if you are watching, please hit that subscribe button and share with your friends and let them know we're on live right now, being homophobes. But
Yeah.
no, seriously, something interesting the other day. I was talking with my 15-year-old daughter, and we got on the subject, and I'm like, you know what? It seems to me, this is just a theory of mine. I don't know. I can't prove it necessarily, but it seems like being gay or being having they them pronouns or being something that's not within societal norms is almost a fashion trend now, right?
Yeah.
um, and when I said that, she's like yeah, she said she had she listed three different examples of friends of hers who, like, last year, the year before, came out as gay. And she's like, and now they have boyfriends. They're just like, they're not gay. They were just kind of, I don't know, trying to figure themselves out. And there's something to be said. I do know there is some psychology behind that
Yeah.
social pressure, the trying to fit in with your friends and trying to be cool. I've felt that pressure before. We've all felt that pressure before. For me, it was trying to smoke cigarettes, and I made it through about 5 cigarettes before I'm like, this is really dumb and very expensive. And I was smart enough to look down the tunnel of time and realize this is gross. I don't want to do it. But I realized enough about myself that I'm just doing this to try to be cool with my friends. But how many people are putting on this gay identity like I did with the black Jinko jeans back in the 90s, you know, like what, how much of that is actually happening where it's almost these inflated numbers, like they can say, well, you know, X% of the population is gay, but they're really not. They're just pretending to be gay. I don't know if they're necessarily, I don't even know if it's pretending to be gay. It's like maybe they're considering it, they're thinking about it, they don't really know, just trying to be cool with their friend. I don't know. It's just a theory, it's just a thought. I could be totally way off base here, but I don't know. What do
Yeah,
you think?
no, I kind of feel like that's what it is too, but it also kind of gives young adults or yeah, young adults kind of the option to figure out who they are. Um, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But, trying to make this thing sort of a trend and, it's being part of the cool kids and saying, oh, well, look at me, I'm gay. Well, do you have any idea what that entails at that age? What do you know about that culture? When you start asking them the questions, they can't really give you a whole lot. They're just kind of going off what their friends, say, well, I'm gay. And, well, what is that? They're not asking the questions they should be because they don't know themselves,
Right.
which is fine. I mean, I get it. I understand it. But you got to have to be careful with what trends you're trying to follow here and to be a part of, because you're going to find yourself in a situation where somebody that is actually gay walks up to you and is like, hey, do you want to go out sometime? And it's going to shock the hell out of people, and because once you realize you're straight, it becomes a bit of an issue.
I,
So I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if I want to find out that I'm straight when I got, a good 5 inches deep, in my rear, I don't know, man. It's like, oh, wait a minute, just kidding. Okay, I'm not really that.
Well, maybe it's a hard lesson for those that need to learn it.
Hard, hard learned lesson. Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry.
You can't seem to deviate from that one, can you?
No, I was just thinking because this is like a it's a pattern as old as time itself. The rebellious teenager that wants to go
Yeah.
against the grain of society, that wants to go against their parents and make their own way. And it's like, back when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, it was like tattoos and piercings and stuff. Like
It's a shock factor.
kids were getting piercings and hiding it from their parents, and like it was the new hot thing to get your nipples pierced, or to get your tongue pierced. It's like, and hell, I remember even just a few years before that, like men getting their ears pierced was like, oh my god. And you had to get it in one ear or not the other, because if you got it in one ear you're gay, but if you got it in
Yeah.
both ears you're, or you couldn't do it in both ears because that was, a little feminine. One ear means you're gay, the other ear means you're straight, but you're awesome and you're hip. But like it was so much.
What was it back then? It was the
I,
left ear. That was it. The left ear you were gay.
I don't remember. That's
Yes.
why I'm avoiding saying a specific side fear of looking
I
like.
can't remember. I mean,
Now you
if you guys in the audience remember when that was, I remember it was back in the
know,
80s, if not sooner than that. But I
which ear?
remember. Do what?
I said, yeah, audience. Which ear meant that you were gay? I can't remember. Um, but it was
It was
just
a way to signal other gay men that, hey, yes, I am gay. So
yeah, and like I remember wearing a dog collar, and like I would dress in all black, and it was very, that not quite the emo years yet. It was the
mhm.
gothic eras where I was kind of a major part of it. It's like part of that's just that rebellious nature, that trying to discover who you are, trying to figure out what you are, and that's fine. And going against your parents and making your parents go, oh God, little Timmy's got a piercing in his ear. Oh God, what's this mean for him in society? He's never gonna get a job. Oh my God, he's got a tattoo on his arm there. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, well, now all the adults have got tattoos and piercings, and they got shit running all up their neck and stuff, and you're still out there in a business suit doing your thing. You're still CEO of
I
a
mean,
company.
hell, I've got one on my hand. You see that every day, no matter where I go.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you do as a rebellious teen? Well, I see that my parents are really against this they them stuff. This is interesting. Let's and I don't
Let's
think
piss them off.
honestly, I don't think it's like that conscious. I really don't. I think it's just because I wasn't like dressing the way I dressed or acting the way I acted to rebel against my parents explicitly, but it kind of had that result. But my parents were pretty cool about anything, so there wasn't really anything I could do. But there's a lot of parents out there that are very strict on, and this is the thing that they're really strict on, and so you feel like you got to double down and dig in. And people who are not consciously thinking about what they're doing tend to dig into that even more. They double down. You've seen it on Twitter all the time. You are on Facebook. You make an argument, and somebody who's really doesn't seem that knowledgeable, they just like double down on their idea. And it's like, I don't know if again, I'm just kind of diving into the psychological angle of this, or why so many kids seem to be gay, or so many kids seem to be they them. The
See, I
new
don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the social structure this is created for our youth,
yeah
meaning that they've decided to, jump on this, fab, bandwagon to say that it's cool and it's hip to be, oh, look at me, I'm gay. Do you even know what goes on, being gay? I mean, do you have any idea what goes with that? You'd be surprised. A lot of these kids don't have a clue
yeah I think
because they're not discussing it the way that it ought to be. It's just when you see it on TV, when you hear it in your classrooms, when you get on Google and it's got a little pride thing. It's like I just it's still kind of going back to what I said earlier. It really kind of just gets to me that our military. I mean, first responders and nurses. I mean, you got Nurse Week. That's only a week. You got people who save lives that get recognized, that should be recognized throughout the year, in my opinion,
right.
but may get a week or may get a day out of a month. And I'm like, these people, who are doing this shit get a month. It's like, I don't know why I'm so hung up on that. It's like it seems like we've got our morals and priorities about what we understand, who should we acknowledge. And to be honest with you, I'm in favor of getting rid of all of the, you got Pride Month for June and Black History for February, and you got Italian American Heritage, which is in October, and get rid of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I mean, get rid of all of them, get rid of, I'm tired of, like, when you pull up the things each month represents, I
Mhm.
can't keep up with it, dude. I don't have enough space on my chest to put all these ribbons and flags, and I can't even keep, I'm doing good just to keep up with my own home, let alone what month it is
Oh,
and what thing I should be recognizing. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. I mean, it's like the month of October is Italian American. I didn't know that until the last couple of years.
yeah.
Now, you don't see me getting on social media just spewing, you know, Italian shit, Italian American shit left and right, like, just all over the place. And I'm not driving around with a little flag hanging from my rear view mirror and, being all prideful. I am proud of what I am, but I don't feel like I need to push that on my friends, or people that I associate with on social media. Um, or talk about the history of, Italian Americans, which, by the way, little history lesson, the Italian Americans, they were treated just as bad as blacks, if you didn't know that. And the biggest lynching in US history was done to Italian Americans back in New Orleans. I mean, a lot of people don't know that. So I don't sit there and then try to educate folks. It's like, just do your due diligence. But to me, it's get rid of all these months. Stop giving everybody a fucking month like it's a sticker at Walmart. I mean, why are we doing this? So I'm in favor of getting rid of all of them. And I know that's not going to sit well with a lot of folks. Get rid of our, days and holidays for our military and for gay people. Get rid of Martin Luther King. Get rid of all of it. I can't stand it anymore, dude. It's like we're just giving out months and weeks, and can we just not live in a society where we all support each other regardless of what month it
It's
is, and just be a
it's
happy
hard.
go lucky people?
So first of all, you need to go and get a vest for every month, and just go ahead and have all your little flare stickers on it. So that
Oh,
way,
yeah,
as soon as the month comes around, you just don that vest, and you're good to go.
yeah.
And then we'll just have to make sure that our friends update us whenever a new holiday comes around.
Jesus Christ. I just didn't. I mean, when I looked into the month of October, first, like I said, I didn't know it was Italian American Heritage, but then I learned it was like six or seven other things that they recognize for that month. I can't tell you what they are. I think one is like for people with depression, they try to recognize those that, have depression. And I had an interesting conversation. about, well, what about people with Down syndrome? What about people, with autism and stuff like that? Well, I have the same argument. No, they don't get a month. I don't care if they're special needs. I don't care, if they have had cancer. And I'm not being insensitive, but I think what we're doing is we've created this society where, you know, why do we need 1 month to really hyper focus on what that issue is? That is something that should be done continuously throughout the year and not just give it a benchmark,
Right.
month and just say, hey, this is what we should recognize,
Yeah.
because people fight cancer throughout the year more than just 1 month.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting that a lot of people, they want to be recognized for the unearned, and I think there's something to be said about that.
Well, I mean, I get the purpose of the awareness months, but I don't like that there's so many. It's like, I lost my stepdad to cancer,
Mhm.
and it's like I'm not going to sit there and celebrate his life every time, that month comes around. It's like I celebrate his life as much as possible, or even when he was going through cancer, it was just like, for me, it's I talked about it, and the problem, like with autism and with Down syndrome, most people who are not a part of that culture or a part of that lifestyle of raising a child or an adult that has a disability, they don't know what goes on. So, for that 1 month, it's like you're not going to learn a lot, I mean, again, this is something that we all should be a part of together, whether it's just breast cancer, it's Pride Month, or it's Martin Luther King, or not Martin Luther King, but Black History Month. It doesn't matter. We should be teaching this stuff to our children and our youth, week in and week out, but it's like we want to save it for that month, and I just don't understand. I don't agree with that. I think it needs to be celebrated throughout the year, not in the month that it was given. And I think if we did that, I think society would be a little bit more tame as far as the way we go about treating each other. um because it's like, well, what do white people really get? Oh, well, we get all the other months out of the year from, Black History Month. But no,
Yeah,
I mean, can you imagine if I said, let's celebrate, straight Pride Month, or, straight white Pride Month? I
maybe that
mean,
maybe that needs to be our next meme for the 1st of July. Is okay. We're finally back to celebrating white pride or straight
or
pride. I mean,
straight Pride. I mean, it's,
pride.
it's
We're finally
just,
back to celebrating straight pride.
dude, if we did that, it's like I mean, we would to be looked down on so much. And yeah, I mean, that would go horribly bad. We'd be called everything from a racist,
The next 11
homophobic,
months.
and
The next 11 months is straight pride months. Come celebrate with us. We're having a party. No, no,
I just don't.
there's
I
a
don't
point
understand.
there was a point I was trying to make about the, people who want some kind of like credit or pat on the back for the unearned. And it's like you have, like when you were talking about the military,
Yeah,
getting Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and stuff like that. It's like those guys, they actually made a decision. They made a sacrifice. They
right,
actually made choices, and in my opinion, they kind of earned that recognition.
right,
Um, if you're looking at it through this lens, and being gay, you didn't earn that. You either are or aren't that. Being a woman, you didn't earn that. Being black, you didn't earn that. It's just you were born that way. I
right.
don't. But we're expected to give recognition, and people love to get applause for the unearned, and I just I don't understand it. Like, you don't see me going around, proud of the fact that I like to sleep with women. I'm not proud of the fact that my skin's a certain shade. Like I'm not going around talking about blue pride because my eyes are blue. Like I'm just not doing it. Like I don't care. Like I can't take credit for what I didn't earn.
Right.
Um, what you do see me posting pictures of is, projects that I've built, things that I put my time and energy into, struggles that I've been through, things that I've actually, have
Took
earned.
pride in.
So those are the things I want to be recognized for. Like I don't want
Right.
somebody saying, yeah, at my funeral going, yeah, Daniel, he had the most beautiful blue eyes, and he maintained those blue eyes his whole entire life. And he was so proud of those blue eyes. Like he even wore glasses to take care of them. he put on sunglasses to keep him from getting too much sun. And it's like, it's amazing. And if we walk over here to this casket here, we can open them up and see, look, they're still blue. Like, that's so weird. Like,
Yeah, I just for me it's yeah, I get what you're saying. There's not you haven't earned anything to be, represented or respected in that way. And that's kind of what I mentioned earlier. It just kind of bothered me that, you got, Nurses Week, you got people that are actually saving lives or doing the best they can to prevent, individuals from dying. And they're giving a week, man. It's just how did we? This is so ass backwards. We're giving folks that have never really done anything to sacrifice anything at all.
yeah,
And of course, gay people will come back and say, well, we've been targeted for this and that. Well, I hate to break it to you, but so have, Asian Americans. They've been heavily targeted by the black community for years. I mean, we can keep this cycle, this dirty laundry going, but it's not going to clean itself until we understand that
right.
the chains have got to be broken at some point. And it's just going back to the gay community, it's just you haven't really earned anything. How did you end up with the month? Why? Because the social pressures that you've put on other people and companies to put you in this position you're currently in right now. I
Yeah,
have no issues and no problems with people who do drag or people who do, who were gay. When you start forcing this shit on me, I have an issue with that. It turns me away. It's just, it's disgusting. When you start to bring this into, the schools and trying to indoctrinate our children, I've got an issue with that. I will push back. I don't give a shit how flamboyant you are. It's, you're going to go up against a population of people that they're not going to tolerate this shit. They're not. I'm not forcing, my values and my beliefs onto you. Stop doing that shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Stop doing that shit. And you're going to turn a lot of folks like me that don't have an issue with the culture to begin with, you're going to push us away. So, everything that you seem that you're trying to push for is working. It's not. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of Americans like me don't want to have anything to do with that. I'm
yeah, it's
telling
having
you.
opposite effects. So it's like Veterans Day. It's kind of customary to go thank a veteran, or maybe even sign up for the military if you were on the fence about it.
Right.
I just wonder, like, how do you actually celebrate Gay Pride Month besides putting a rainbow flag on your profile picture? I mean, do you go and thank a gay guy? Do you like invite him over and for a little butt sex? Like, what is exactly the customary
What the
nature?
protocol is, I don't know.
The protocols? Like, do you have to have a party where you like experiment a little bit and try to have a little insight into their culture? Like, I don't I don't know what the move is here, other
Yeah,
than
I don't either, man. That's
else can you do besides virtue signal to the gay community how you support them. I don't know what to do.
I don't support anybody, man. We had this conversation what a week ago where we talk about where we didn't care or that we cared about the situation that happened in Texas, but how much should of that situation should we care about
Yeah,
depending on where we live? And when you mentioned, about, keeping up with your own home, making your own bed, so to speak, I'm more concerned about what goes on in my home and in my family that I've currently got going on right now. I've got some personal stuff going on. I'm too busy focused on that than to give a shit about, drag queens on TV or trans people or, like I said, the only time that this really comes and the full play for me is when my daughter is affected, when it starts to interject itself into our school sets. Yeah, I will step in at that point, but beyond that, I just don't care, dude. Like, go fucking live your life. I want y'all to get married. I want y'all to have the same equal rights and see how miserable it is to be married to somebody and have insurance and all this other bullshit. I don't care because honestly, what you do has no reflection on my life and what I do. It does not. So
yeah. My
I
my my caring about the gay community is directly proportionate to the amount of gay people around me in my life.
yeah,
Like,
and that's the
it's
way it should be.
pretty minuscule. I know a few people who are gay. I love them to death. I have no issues, no qualms. I don't
Right.
what they like, I don't care. I don't care. And if they're struggling, I'm going to support them in that struggle. I'm going to help them any way
Right.
I can. And that should be about the extent of it. It really should be because, like you said, we just don't have the mental bandwidth to like care about 7 billion people. We just, or 3,000 different months, holidays. Like who are we supposed to be proud of today? Oh God, I didn't update my Facebook profile picture. Oh shit, I didn't use the hashtag that's associated with this specific holiday. Oh my God, I'm a terrible person. Like at some point you just have
You
to accept what you can be responsible for, accept what you have the mental bandwidth to actually affect change upon, and then go with that. Like, I don't know what else to tell people.
I can't recognize or support everything that happens every month, every day of the week. If I did, I wouldn't be able to take care of my own family. That's the reality. There's that many things that are out there.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
we need to actually sit down and do up a calendar and see what every day or every week or every month is. And you would be surprised how much that calendar is going to fill up awfully quick. And there's a lot of stuff that people didn't know. And again, like I said, as an Italian American, I had no idea that October was even our month. It's like I got a month, dude. Like
Yeah,
I didn't do shit except
what?
for make you some lasagna.
No, is it like a German Irish hybrid month that I could like participate in, or like what
I
if
don't
I'm like
know.
not fully one thing? Maybe what if I'm mixed? Like what if I'm kind of
You
bisexual?
get you get days and weeks here and there, to make up
Let's
31 days.
let's say I'm bisexual. Am I supposed to just celebrate every other day in June, or is it like the first 2 weeks or the last 2 weeks, or like how does that work exactly? I don't know what to do with that. If I'm half black and half white, like am I supposed to like I don't know, do I again every other day? Or what how am I supposed to like go minute by minute? Like how do we break this down so I'm not accused of being, racist or homophobic?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how in the hell they end up with half the alphabet. Like, how did that ever happen?
Hey, like just thinking about this has already got me feeling a little extra anxious. Imagine people that take this stuff seriously and they really want to be in the right position socially. I don't know. I don't know how you. It's no wonder we have an anxiety epidemic and people are
Yeah.
depressed all the time. Like it's no wonder you're worried about too much. You can't worry about everything.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those situations where it's like, why can't we just I know it sounds so cliche to say, but why can't we all get along and do away with the months and the weeks and the days and stop celebrating everything? I mean, because you're always going to leave one particular individual out of the equation. It's going to piss the other person off. I mean, if you look at my situation, it's like, okay, well, I am not in favor of gay pride at all. It's like I love my friends that are gay regardless whether we celebrate in June or at Christmas time or whatever the time of the year is, you know.
It's a really weird thing to be proud of, right?
Well, I wouldn't say it's I mean, yeah, you can be proud. I'm proud to be Italian American, but I don't do it in such a way that where I'm shoving it down everybody's throat and I'm not, pushing companies and people I work with to support, my heritage.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like why? What?
Every time you're at my house, you're doing this shit, and sometimes you turn it around and start literally trying to shove it down my throat. It's getting really annoying.
Yeah, well, I mean, you love it. It's all right.
No, I don't.
Whatever,
I don't mind
somebody.
it. I don't mind it. Just next time, 4 fingers, not five. Okay.
That's all you can take this week without a little bit of lube.
So I would love to if there's anybody watching this and sees this and thinks, okay, these homophobic pricks, like they don't even understand at all what Pride Month is about. Do us a favor, reach out to us, hit me up in the comment section, or go to our website unframeofmind.com and be a guest on our show. I would love to hear what it is about this particular month that we're getting wrong. Like what is it that we're just not seeing? Maybe there's something we're totally not getting because we happen to like women. I don't know what but maybe there's
You
something.
said it like it's a bad thing that we like women. Like,
No, I'm just wondering, from the perspective of somebody who is gay and sees the value in Pride Month, like what is it that gives this value to you? Like reach out to us, we'll have you on the show and we'll discuss it. Like I'm genuinely curious why this is so important to celebrate, you
yeah,
know.
I that would be interesting for me. Now the question is, can we get somebody on the show to actually do it? We've tried this before in the past with no success, with the exception of Billy.
We've had
Obviously, huh?
we've had minimal success in getting people from the other side of these debates on the show. I don't know that we've done enough to try to facilitate more conversations like this, but I would love to. And if you or you know somebody who would be interested in it, let me know. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think that would work out. That would be an interesting conversation for sure because I want to talk to directly to people that support this, and it's not for me to understand, it's for them to understand. I want to know what sacrifices have they made. I want to know why is it we should celebrate your culture more than our military that have paid the price in blood to defend this country, and they only get what 1 or 2 fucking days.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, give me a legitimate answer. And then what I tell you is, if we can get them on a show, and if we can get them to answer those questions, people will see things for what they are and see how the cards may fall. So
Perhaps, yeah.
I encourage it. I don't discourage it at all, but I just don't think anybody's got the galls to do it, dude. I really don't. Outside of our social norms of the people we know that would do it, only because they we know them. Do what?
You think it'll look kind of like that documentary about What Is a Woman? It
I,
really
I've seen the documentary. It is very well done. Yeah, I think it would. But here's the thing, though, is I'm not here to convince you to undo your sexual preference or your lifestyle. That's not where I'm going with this. I don't care what you do, I just want to know, why have you become so privileged to have a month after your culture and demographic of people. I want to know, what have you actually done to contribute to society. I have helped many people throughout my years of what I've contributed to my society. What have you done other than going to a gay pride parade and waving a fucking flag? Like, what hardships, what things have you endured to where you feel like June should be celebrated on your behalf? I just want to know.
yeah, I don't know that there's that many people suffering major hardships like they did in the past. I just don't. There's just yeah. There's still a few holdouts that are like super, anti-gay. I know of one myself that's super Christian, like anti-gay. Like it's like there is a few holdouts, but in general, society overall is pretty accepting of it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's why I don't understand why we got to do this shit every June. It's like, we get it, dude. Like, ease up. Like, why do we don't need, if we want to watch a drag show, we can find it,
yeah,
on TV, on a streaming platform, on YouTube. That's not hard to find. I just got to make a quick phone call to Billy and be like, hey, where can I find this?
yeah. It's
Use your
like,
gay resources to figure it out.
it's like,
Um,
hey, you watch Man in the High Castle and Peaky Blinders. You might also like RuPaul's Drag Race.
right. No, I'm just saying, I mean, let us that are not a part of this, whatever the hell it is in June, if we want to watch it, let us watch it, but don't sit there. I mean, and then of course you got the companies like Disney and Google and and all these other, Amazon, and Prime, and it's just like, it's rainbow this, rainbow that, and it's just keeping that demographic of people off their case, off their back,
Right.
to show that they're a part of this movement. And it's, I applaud them for that, but you know what you're doing. You're saving your bottom line. So, I
Yep.
mean, that's what it kind of boils
That's
down to. So,
exactly, and that's what it feels like, man. Oh my god,
yeah.
when I watch these shows, like I think we talked about this before, but what was it? The Wheel of Time. They finally did a series. I think it's on Amazon, based on one of my favorite books by one of my favorite authors, Robert Jordan. Um, and they sat there and were just, because of all of the new rules of society, they took the story and did a fantastic job telling the story, but you could also tell they were really trying to shoehorn in all of these modern day
Mhm.
tropes and messages that you're supposed to have in all your shows. It's like, now all of a sudden a couple of the characters are gay but they weren't in the book. Now all of a sudden, you have this small tiny village in the middle of nowhere, which everybody knows a small tiny village in the middle of nowhere is going to be what? Homogenous, more than likely. but this town was the most diverse little town you ever saw. Like everybody was a different race. Like how did that happen in this little town, like in the middle of nowhere? Nobody, like how is everybody so vastly different? It just doesn't pass the sniff test. You can tell they're just trying to have a multicultural cast, which given the right context makes sense. This did not. um I don't need to have it shoved down my throat constantly. Like these characters are now gay. I'm like, wait a minute, I read the books, they weren't gay at all. Like what? There's this entire like whole storyline you've screwed up now because you felt the need to add this in. You've taken away from the storyline. Like if it's meaningful to the storyline, throw it in there. If it's a story about gay people, great, tell the story. But don't sit there and feel like you have to force it into the script just to make people happy. Like just to, oh, we got to have something in there for the gay folks. We got to have something in there for the bi folks. We got to have something in there for the black folks. We got to, like, just tell the damn story.
Yeah.
What's wrong with just telling? What's wrong with just living our lives and just going on with our month? You know,
And I think that's one of the reasons why Top Gun Maverick, the recent new movie with Tom Cruise, did so well. You know, they weren't pushing none of this bullshit, this woke agenda that Hollywood seems to have, and you didn't have a gay person, and if you did, you didn't know it because the movie was strictly about, you know, the U.S. Navy and you know, Top Gun, and they
because
made it about that.
it
So
wasn't important for the telling of the story.
right, it had no bearing on the story whatsoever. And it was very well done. And it was probably, you know, right now that movie was needed in our culture because of the way society is kind of collapsing around itself. And to see a pro-American movie for the first time in a long time, it was nice. It was really good. It Top Gun Maverick kind of made you feel like what summer blockbusters used to be about. The last actual pro-American movie that I can remember was Independence Day with Will Smith,
Oh wow!
and
I
that's
take
been
it you like.
years ago.
I take it you like this new movie. I hadn't seen it yet. The Top
Yeah,
Gun.
I've seen it twice.
Oh no!
It's
In,
it's really good.
did you go in theater?
Um, yeah, I went to the theater to see it, and like I tell people, you know, it's just there's none of this crap where they're pushing a gay agenda, a black agenda. You had all these cadets from Top Gun that were the best in their class. They were all there to be a part of this mission, and it was just straight up to the point what Top Gun was always about. And you know, going back to the original movie, so you didn't have that, and it was so refreshing to go to the and see a movie where you didn't have all this other bullshit that was kind of intertwined with it. And you know, because right now it seems like all these Marvel movies and you know, and a lot of CGI film is kind of taking over, you know, the big screen.
Yeah,
So to see this was really different.
I hadn't seen it yet, but I've seen some little clips. And is it just me, or does Tom Cruise still look like he's like 30?
Dude, he's like 59 years old, and in this movie he's up. I mean, he's playing football and he's running with the best of them, dude. I'm like, this dude is almost 60, and he looks really good for his age. He's aged well, and he's in
Must
really
be
good shape.
must be that Scientology, man. There's something in their diets, man. I don't know what it is.
You know, and people they're like, I can't believe you supported Tom Cruise in this movie, and he's a big supporter of Scientology. I don't care what he does with his
Yeah,
personal life.
that's just it. We don't care. Like if
He
you,
is here to entertain me. He is an actor. That's his job. He is there to entertain me. I can segregate the two. I what he
I don't
does in
want
his personal life is none of my business.
this guy out here. I don't want him cutting my grass because he's a Wiccan. I can't have that mowing my grass. You know,
It's
It's
like how
ridiculous.
did we get I don't know. That's a story for another day.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I may end up watching it at some point. Who knows? It's been a while since I've seen a good movie that's not stuffed full of social justice bullshit.
Has none of it. And I tell you what, this is the kind of movie that was made for the movie theater because of the sound,
Mhm.
you know, the quality of the sound and the you know, the actual visual effects. So yeah, if you can get a chance, at least go to the movie theater to see it. You won't be disappointed. So
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add on today that we haven't discussed?
no, but I just want to encourage folks for the month of July. We look forward to Straight Pride Month. You know, we do encourage everybody to put a little sticker on their on their profile picture, and we encourage you to put a little sticker on the bumper of your car, and and on your little store that you have. If you have a store, you own a business, put a little gay pride sticker, or not gay pride, but straight pride, sorry. um, do what you can to really help out the straight community. We need you right now more than ever. So
Which is fantastic. Definitely,
we
definitely clipping that up for the first of the month.
we really need to do some kind of like promo commercial for straight pride month and see how well that goes.
I think we should definitely do something like that.
Yeah.
I got some ideas. We'll talk about it here in a minute. But anyway, you guys have
did
been watching.
did you before we go, did you ever
Oh,
get that monkeypox cleared up?
oh no, I'm still kind of dealing with it. And I know you can't see me because I'm off camera, but I like subconsciously reached for my ass cheek when you said
You're gay.
maybe, but no,
Oh, that's great.
I'm still dealing with a bunch of creams and stuff. It's helping take down the itching and stuff, but unfortunately my son ended up catching it as well, and I'm not going to talk about how.
On that note,
So
have a
you've
good Sunday, everybody.
been watching the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. We are your highbrow ideas and lowbrow packaging. My name is Daniel Wagner.
And I'm Anthony Trawick.
All right, and we will see you next time.
See you
Take care.
guys.